We would now like to start the regular press conference by Minister Hayashi. I have one point to start with regarding G7 Trade Ministers meeting to be held in Osaka Prefecture next year. The meeting will be held on the 28th and 29th October next year in person as G7 Osaka Sakai Trade Ministers meeting. And the MOFA will prepare for the Trade Ministers meeting as well as G7 Hiroshima Summit and Foreign Ministers meeting alike in close coordination with organizations concerned and local governments of the hosting cities to make sure smooth operations of the meetings. That's all. Thank you. Please raise your hand if you have a question, and please come to the nearest microphone. Please identify yourself, your affiliation. Sankei Okada-san. Sankei Okada. Zero COVID policy related to protests in China. I have a question. In various cities in China, there is a protest against the COVID restrictions by the government. Xi Jinping is now called for stepping down. So it is quite a rare situation in China. So the foreign media reporting, some of them have been detained. So what is your response to such a development? And also between Japan and China, you have agreed to visit China soon. So including that, what kind of impact will be expected on our relationship?
Since the other day in multiple cities in China regarding the measures by the Chinese authority against COVID-19, I understand that there have been demonstrations. As the government, we will try to collect related information, analyze them, and through the Consulate General emails, we are trying to make sure that people are being aware. At the moment, we do not have any information that Japanese people are harmed, but we will continue to collect information, analyze them, and we'll be having exhaustive measures to protect the Japanese nationals in China. Also, regarding the latter half of your questions, just like before, we are making coordination. Asahi Newspaper, Nobira-san. Asahi Newspaper, Japan, China, the sea and air communication, the top summit meeting, you agreed to have this as early as possible. And the spokesperson said there has been a favorable development. There's going to be early start. I would like to know more about the coordination, including the start of the operation. What would be the results of having this hotline?
At the Japan-China summit meeting that I also attended, there the two leaders agreed to operationalize the Defense Authority's hotline at early date. The plan currently is to start the operation in spring of 2023, as I understand it. So we are going to have a coordination with the Chinese side in order to realize that plan. Regarding the hotline, it is to build confidence between defense authorities of Japan and China, and also to avoid unexpected contingency. For that purpose, I think the hotline is expected to play extremely important role. Next question, please. Kyodo News, Kineshi-san. Kyodo, Kineshi. I have a relationship between Japan and South Korea, and the president is going to designate Ms. Oh Sok-chon as a Supreme Court judge. Regarding the Supreme Court liquidation process, I think the liquidation process by the Supreme Court will be starting soon. What is the impact?
I'd like to refrain from making an individual comment on every move of the South Korea. Having said that, at the top leaders meeting between ROK and Japan, the top leaders once again agreed to seek an early resolution of the issues, as there has been acceleration of the consultations at the diplomatic authorities level, receiving instructions from the top leaders in New York. Last week, the Director General level meeting took place between Japan and ROK. Based on the friendly and cooperative relationship that has been built since the normalization ties, to restore the bilateral relations sound manner to develop it, we would closely communicate with the ROK government. NHK Iwasawa-san. NHK Iwasawa about Taiwan general local election. On the 26th, the voting took place and the DPP ruling party failed and lost, and the Tsai Ing-wen, they indicated she is going to resign. What's your take? And to Japan-Taiwan relations, what will be the impact of this?
Yes, regarding the her attitude, President Tsai Ing-wen, within her party, the government of Japan will be refraining from making a comment on election results abroad. But in any case, we are going to closely monitor the situation related to this event. Taiwan is a very important partner because the country shares universal fundamental values, including freedom, democracy, human rights, and rule of law. And also, it is a country which has a close economic relationship with Japan and exchange of people. So it is a very important partner and good, important friend. So based on that, we are going to enhance the cooperation exchange. Sankei newspaper. Okada is my name. Regarding China, regarding overseas police service center, China is trying to establish a overseas police service center to monitor anti-government forces abroad. So that is the point made. So even within Tokyo, I understand there is an office. So the European and US governments are requesting the China to stop such an operation. So what is the current awareness on the part of the government of Japan? And the government has lodged a protest or expressed concerns on this?
Regarding the report you mentioned and the related communication, I'm aware of that. Regarding this, to Chinese side, we strongly communicated via diplomatic routes that should there be any activities that would violate Japan's sovereignty, they cannot be condoned at all. Regarding the further details, there is a diplomatic communication. I'd like to refrain from mentioning this, but we will continue to collaborate with the related ministries and agencies and various governments to handle this appropriately. Thank you. We would like to conclude the press conference.